Welcome back, guys. So today I want to talk about the Atari. The Atari VCS just announced that pre-orders are going to go live at the end of the month, the end of May. And it's got a lot of people talking. A lot of people have been talking for a while with this device, and it strikes me odd. Not that people are talking about it, but the device itself. Atari's got a crazy history, and today we're not necessarily going over the whole history of Atari, but if you grew up with Atari, the Atari that's out there now is not the Atari that we once knew. Atari has changed hands, a couple times over the years, few times, whatever. Filed for bankruptcy, came back out of bankruptcy with a different strategy. They have not been a successful company, for many years. They've had a lot of issues and whatnot. It's just not the same. It's just not the same. And, they're currently held by Infogrames, I believe is how you say their name. They acquired them a long while ago and filed bankruptcy, with them. They kind of got back out of that somehow and started doing some other things. It is what it is. But, they announced that they were getting back into the console making business. And that's where the Atari VCS comes into play. What is this thing? It's a 4K device, Bluetooth. It's got a lot of little things that are pretty standard for a device that's coming out, 2018 to 2019. And the interesting thing with this is, there's not a lot of specs out there. There's not much to be shown other than, hey, you get some Atari 2600 games with this, right? We can play Atari 2600 games on many devices, official, not official, whatever. It's definitely a nostalgia thing, and it is nice that there's going to be an official way to play it, and with another official way anyway. But the price point, the route that they're going with this, trying to gauge interest through Indiegogo, I don't know that that's the best route to go. It might be for what position they're in, not being able to mass produce a device and not sell them, could be a concern, right? But this thing is base product, $200 with nothing. If you want controllers and all that stuff, it's going to be more. We'll probably find out more of that later on in this month before the Indiegogo goes live. But I just don't see the appeal to a device like this. I mean, I'm sure there will be interest, but there's so many other devices out there that, are either open and we know what they do, or maybe comparable or may have failed in the past. This thing, essentially, it just seems like a mini PC. It's running Linux, and we have plenty of options for devices that run Linux to play games, but they have not shown anything that says, hey, this is an awesome new system. That's where they have flubbed. Maybe they'll change that in, this month sometime. Maybe they got some surprises up their sleeve, and that's what I'm waiting for to see. I don't want to jump to judgment too quick. Everybody always gets on me. How could you criticize something before it's even out? That kind of thing. And I'm not criticizing what this device can or cannot do necessarily. I'm just concerned with the route that it's going and the market that it's supposed to appeal to. You're going to have indie games on here, mid-range games that it can play. But they have not announced anything AAA or any partnerships with any companies who are going to be putting out games for this. So is it just going to be a simple, Steam box type thing? Is it just going to have some kind of store tied to something else where you can download games and play through it? Is it just only going to be old school Atari games? Obviously not, because why would this device need to do 4K and 60 frames per second and all that? So I'm just curious. I'm curious, who is this geared toward? More so it seems the nostalgia of the Atari name, but like I said earlier, the Atari we once knew is not the Atari of today, and the appeal of having a box that plays 2600 games or comes with 2600 games, to me is not that interesting. I'm a fan of Atari. I have some nostalgia for Atari, but I don't play Atari games from back in the day. That was the first system I had, was 2600, but I have there's like almost no appeal to me to revisit some of those games. Occasionally I do, but it's very rare that I have any kind of interest. I'm more interested in, you know, NES, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, TurboGrafx, you know, those eras of gaming just kind of change things up. Do have to respect and appreciate where Atari, you know, came from and what they accomplished, but at the same time, the selling point, 2,600 games, that's not what you want to show to pique interest. I mean, you would show that, but show some new stuff, some new crazy stuff, and then just kind of tack that on. Hey, you're also getting the old school Atari 2600 collection, over 100 games or whatever the, you know, the exact number is going to be. So I'm really skeptical with this. It's reminded me a little bit of the Dreamcade replay, but the Dreamcade replay, at least we know what the hell it is and what it supposedly can do. I mean, we've seen what the Dreamcade replay can do. And this just kind of seems like a similar thing. And I think that just sticks in my mind because, you know, Dreamcade replay was like, okay, you can buy the box by itself, you can add controllers, and they're doing the same thing. You can buy the box, you could buy the box with controllers, you could bring your own control, whatever, right? So I think that's the one thing, that the similarity that's just kind of making me compare them, is that they're approaching it in a similar fashion. But Indiegogo, you don't have to show anything. You just say, hey, I got this device, give us the money and, you know, we'll make it. At Kickstarter, you gotta be able to show that you have something that works, and that's a prototype. So that kind of always, with these Indiegogos, always intrigues me when you have technology going to it, because you don't have to prove anything. Kickstarter, you have to have a working prototype. Kickstarter's risky too, don't get me wrong. There's risks involved for anybody backing a company on any of these platforms. But it's just Indiegogo has more of that reputation of, hey, they don't have to prove anything, so it's up in the air. This company doesn't have the money to just mass produce these and throw them out to us. So that's what scares me with a name that we know and a lot of us love, going to crowdfunding in order to see what kind of interest is out there. I get it, but then at the same time, it's just too risky to me. It scares me a little bit. My interest is almost zero with this device until they show what it can do besides old school Atari games. You know, the $200 price point, don't know what it's going to cost to add the extra controllers to it, but I mean, we're getting in the territory of a home console price. We're not sitting at, you know, Dreamcade replay, $100. You know, that's, you know, that can be expensive to some, but $100 for a device that you can play a bunch of old school games and whatnot seems reasonable. Once you're hitting at 200 plus the additional cost of controllers, I don't know. It worries me a little bit. I really need to know more information. I'm just not going to completely knock these guys. It's just very curious and intriguing that we have no information yet. We're weeks away from pre-orders. Maybe they'll drop some bombs on us. I'm hoping so. That could be cool. At this moment, I mean, even if they drop some bombs on us, I'm going to be really honest with you. I'm not going to put my money down. Not on Indiegogo. You know, I wish there was some other way they could go about it. Because if it does turn out to be something awesome, I want to get one. But I don't want my money tied up. Because here's the thing is you know, typically, okay, you go to GameStop, put $5 down on a game if that's what you're into, or just pre-order online and put no money down, you know, through Amazon, Best Buy, GameStop, whatever. And then whenever the game comes out, then you're charged the whole thing. With this, the device isn't supposed to come out until around this time next year. So we're a year away from it releasing. So you're going to tie up your $200 plus on a device that may or may not come out. I mean, I would hope it would, but depending upon the interest, who knows what's going to happen with this device. And I just don't think it's fair to have to tie up your money for a year. Could go longer. You know, there's always delays with these kind of things. You put your 200 plus down, and then next year comes 1 year to the day, and they're like, "Oh, sorry guys, we've got to delay the project to 6 months or a month or 2 months," and then, you know, that time frame comes up and there's still nothing, or they can just go silent. It's there's a lot of possibilities, and it's just a wait and see thing. A wait and see. If this is something that winds up being available in stores and it's awesome, or I can order it online somewhere else where I'm not just backing a project, where there's some kind of protections for my money, yeah, I'll probably do it. If they drop those bombs that I'm hoping for. So what do you guys think? I just wanted to kind of talk about this device for a moment, ramble on about it, thinking about my interest on it. A lot of people seem interested, but a lot more people seem interested in what's going on versus, hey, when am I going to get this device? So we'll just have to wait and see. Drop your comments down below. Let me know what you think. I still don't know 100% what I think, but hey, let's talk about it. I may do a follow-up on this in the near future, but in the meantime, smash that like button, subscribe, do all that cool stuff. Means the world to me. You know it. And with that said, I will catch y'all next time. Peace out. Bye-bye.